Hello, and thank you for joining us on Let's Talk Tobago, where we tell you about the plans and initiatives of the Tobago House of Assembly and the impact that these have on you. I'm Colleen Holder, and this week we're coming to you from the Gulf City Mall in Lowlands. In our stories this week, the THA wants Tobagonians to be less dependent on government jobs as it celebrates 32 years. Tobago aims for another prestigious international stamp of approval, and the tourism division brings the history of Fort King George to life.
Because of hard times, I was feeling kind of useless. Went into the city, I bought an oven and decided to open a little cake shop. I went into the office and I got a form, and the staff was very helpful, and they helped me make up the form and give me all different kind of information, and it was easy, very easy. I would say thanks to the Business Development Unit for all the assistance that they are giving to me.
Redefining business, protecting Tobago's heritage.
Tobagonians have a right to take care of their own business, and the Tobago House of Assembly should have even more autonomy by the end of 2013. This is according to Chief Secretary Orville London. He made the statement while addressing recipients at the Chief Secretary's Awards, which culminated the 32nd Assembly Day celebrations.
None of the recipients would have been present at the ceremony if it were not for the contributions of Tobagonians who focused on one thing, so says the Chief Secretary, Honorable Orville London.
The fact that Tobagonians had a right, in fact a responsibility, to take care of their own business. And I want to suggest to all of us as Tobagonians that one of the ways that we can pay tribute to these pioneers is to ensure that we carry on that legacy and to ensure that we consistently make progress towards that time when Tobago could really have full internal self-government.
He said achieving full internal self-government is very important as the Assembly celebrates their 32nd anniversary.
And it's very important that on this, the 32nd anniversary, we are in fact on the cusp of the next phase in the process. And therefore, as we leave here, we have to commit ourselves that we will guarantee that the process is in fact conducted in a manner that the wishes of Tobagonians would in fact be paramount.
The Chief Secretary's hope is for the Assembly to have greater authority for the 33rd anniversary.
I urge you to ensure that when we come back here, and I hopefully and confidently, when I host you here for the for the 33rd anniversary of the Tobago House of Assembly, we will be doing so in an assembly that has much greater powers than it has today, and an assembly that truly represents the wishes and the aspirations of the people of Tobago.
The awardees were Clint Arthur, Tricia Diaz and Lawrence Sandy for their educational achievements. Cocoa Reef Resort and Spa got the award for tourism. Cats and Jammer Steel Orchestra received the Chief Secretary's Award for Culture, and the pro athletes Kellyanne Batiste and Lalonde Gordon copped the Sport Awards. The awards ceremony got started in 2003, designed to recognize and honor those who made outstanding contributions in the year leading up to the ceremony. Meantime, in the lead-up to Assembly Day, a two-day exhibition was held at the Dwight York Stadium by the various divisions of the Tobago House of Assembly. At the end of the 2 days, the Assembly Legislature won Best Booth. Taking second and third places were the Division of Agriculture, Marine Affairs, Marketing and the Environment, and Community Development and Culture, respectively.
And I want to take the opportunity to congratulate all the participants. I don't know if it was a change of venue, I don't know if it was additional commitment, but this was by far the best exhibition that we have ever had, and all of us should be proud of that. Every single division and every single participant. I want to congratulate Assembly Legislature, one of the smaller units in the Assembly, but I think that they were quite impressive, as were all the divisions. And once again, this was an excellent initiative, very well done, and I want to say how very proud I am of all who participated and of every division. And I think that the public support was obviously very, very encouraging. I think we had many more people coming to view the exhibition than in previous years, and we now are in a position where we can show the rest of Tobago what the Assembly can do.
I'm Davia Chambers for the Department of Information.
Lights are symbolic of many things, especially for the Tobago House of Assembly, which recently held the 8th annual tree lighting ceremony at the Botanical Gardens in Scarborough. As we see in the Sophie Guillaume report, the practice of lighting the gardens with thousands of Christmas lights holds more than just seasonal sentiment.
In this tree lighting event, the brilliance of the lights, the glamour of the display is a symbolic of where we in Tobago have come to, where we have arrived at as an island over 22 years of having a Tobago House of Assembly. So at our ceremony, it's not only a Christmas ceremony or a festive season ceremony. It treats with two significant events, Christmas and Assembly Day.
Expanding on the sentiment of the Agriculture Secretary, Chief Secretary Orville London said the lighting is symbolic of the light and hope the Assembly brought to Tobago 32 years ago.
But I want us all to understand as Tobagonians that we cannot take the light and the hope for granted. Because if we take the light and the hope for granted, if we do not appreciate the light, darkness will fall on this land, and I want us all to understand that. So as we enjoy and we celebrate, I want us not to forget the symbolism of this particular exercise. That what we are in fact doing is bringing light to the darkness that exists now in this place at this time.
The Chief Secretary also encouraged reflection upon the less fortunate.
I want us to look upon this as not just a time of light, but a time of giving, a time of generosity. And I want each of us to commit ourselves to bring some light into the lives of somebody less fortunate than we are, and take the message from this particular exercise into our communities and into our spaces so that we can in fact make a difference.
As visitors walked through the gardens taking in the displays, they were entertained by the likes of Lynette Louis,
taking time to be kind to one and all.
Matrix the Band,
Holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth.
and the New Dimensions Chorale. The Botanical Gardens, which is currently being upgraded under the Scarborough Beautification Project, will soon offer Wi-Fi capabilities and have pathways that will be more accessible by the differently abled. The tree lighting ceremony was started at the gardens 8 years ago under the auspices of former Agriculture Secretary Hilton Sandy, with the light display being done by lighting contractor Mr. Ignacio. The displays, which features a variety of designs in both flashing and stationary lights, will remain until January 6, 2013. Sophie Guillaume, Department of Information.
The Tobago House of Assembly wants to get more Tobagonians working in the private sector instead of with the THA. This was one of the goals revealed by Dr. Ralph Henry in his presentation on the 2013 to 2017 Economic Development Plan for Tobago. Omadara Mills highlights some of the coming changes which will seek to diversify and strengthen Tobago's economic standing.
It is called performance-based budgeting. Public officers completing their proposed projects in order to qualify for more funding. This will be one of the ways in which the Tobago House of Assembly distributes funds to the various divisions. Dr. Ralph Henry, presenter of the Comprehensive Economic Development Plan for 2013 to 2017, explained how the process will work.
Monitoring evaluation of the overall plan.
In an effort to wean Tobagonians away from their dependence on THA employment, the economic plan will also focus on improving the productivity levels in tourism, new manufacturing industries, agriculture, and entrepreneurship. Dr. Henry gave details.
Therefore, we have to see to what extent we have Tobagonians involved in providing for our own domestic needs. Some of them we can set up very efficient businesses, but there's also the THA creating a firm to produce cassava or to engage in cassava processing and maybe come up with, the equivalent of the sophisticated Benny balls that I was talking about, maybe doing that with cassava and coming up with some sophisticated products using cassava.
Chief Secretary Orville London suggested one way in which the Tobago community can solve the problem of implementing the plans put forward.
We cannot say we're dealing with the bureaucracy, or we have challenges with funding, or we have challenges with the central government. We have got to have a mindset that makes us understand that these are factors that we have to take into consideration and therefore devise and implement strategies which will ensure that we achieve our objectives regardless of the challenges and the issues which we might face.
The Comprehensive Economic Development Plan is a proposal which examines the accomplishments and shortfalls of the THA's 2006 to 2010 plan, while making recommendations which can integrate all sectors and to provide a stronger economic environment for Tobagonians. I am Umadara Mills for the Department of Information.
Tobago has been awarded the World Travel and Living magazine's 2012 Island of the Year award. So it was only fitting that the people who helped make this happen were honored on a night of glitz and glamour at the 2012 Tourism Awards. Icons, retirees, and even some chefs were honored at the event, which culminated Tourism Month. Sophie Guillaume has more.
The Tourism Icons Award was given to persons who have made significant contributions to the Tobago tourism industry. This included CEO of the Kariwak Hotel, Alan Clovis, and former tourism employee Eugene Job Davis. Speaking at the event, Tourism Secretary Oswald Williams said they are working to get the stamp of approval from the internationally acclaimed Blue Flag program for 2 of the island's beaches.
Thus far, the Storby Beach facility and the Pigeon Point Heritage Park has been identified as the first 2 venues to be worked on to achieve this prestigious eco-label, and both locations will soon benefit from all the necessary upgrades to secure them Blue Flag approval.
Meanwhile, President of the Tobago and Hotel Tourism Association, Mr. Nicholas Hardwick, said more than ever they have realized the impact tourism has on the island after having coped with the global financial fallout.
Despite the difficulties that we have had to face in recent years, a corner has now been turned, and it is now gratifying to see across the level of all participants and stakeholders, and in particular the Tobago House of Assembly and central government, that there is now a level of planning and focus within the industry to refurbish, restructure, and relaunch our island's tourism product on a sustainable footing for the future.
Among the awards given out that night were winners of the Blue Food and Culinary Fest, along with the Iron Chef competition. Sophie Guillaume, Department of Information.
You can now send us your comments to information@tha.gov.tt or visit us at www.tha.gov.tt. And please see the bottom of your screen for more contact details. We take a short break, but when we return, a daughter of the soil tells of her experience on the road to becoming medically certified.
My name is Roger Sampson. The business that I'm into is plumbing. Someone told me about it. I applied, I got through. Jobs was coming on the market for me. I needed additional tools to make the job more effective. It's not only about finance, it's about helping you to manage your company. I just want to say thanks to the business development program, all the persons that put this program in place. This is one of a million.
Redefining business, protecting Tobago's heritage.
Did you know that Chief Secretary Orville London is a long-standing customer of the Unit Trust Corporation? Well, he revealed this at the institution's 30th Customer Appreciation Anniversary celebrations. But this was not the only thing he revealed about the institution, as well as Tobagonians. Umadara Mills reports.
The Unit Trust Corporation has grown from 8,000 customers in 1982 to more than 558,000 customers in 2012, with one of them being Chief Secretary of London. He shared his Unit Trust experience.
Most of my very limited funds are in fact invested in the Unit Trust Corporation, so I am a very long-standing unit holder.
Whether it is SUSU or credit unions, Tobagonians always liked to save, but it was the Unit Trust Corporation which nurtured the idea of serious financial investment in the minds of Tobagonians. This was revealed by Chief Secretary London.
I want to compliment the Unit Trust company, not just for growing or developing, but for what it has done to transform the way in which the people of Tobago think about savings. In fact, it was the Unit Trust Corporation that brought the word investment into the psyche of Tobagonians. Tobagonians were always people who like to save. We had SUSU, we had credit union, etc. But the idea of ordinary people with tens of dollars rather than thousands and millions of dollars investing, that was something new to us.
Vice President of Corporate Affairs Derek Redman explained how customers helped the financial institution grow over the years.
We have moved from our flagship account, the Growth and Income Fund, which was the first unit scheme, to a proven suite of products that caters for your varied investment needs. We now have $19.9 billion in funds under management, and because of you, we are number one in the mutual fund market.
A permanent Unit Trust branch was set up on the island in 2005 so as to better meet the needs of the Tobago community. At their 30th anniversary celebrations in Scarborough, Lady Africa sang about the institution's development.
They started very, very small. People felt that they mightn't make it at all. But look at where UTC is today. They have shown that perseverance does pay. And Tobagonians rally behind them. We come into them. We have no problem. I telling you, everybody know in the UTC, small money does grow.
I am Umudara Mills for the Department of Information.
Which is more important, quantity or quality? Well, after a tough fight between Roy Corbin and Akel Davis in the livestock category at World Food Day 2012, Akel won 10 awards over his competitor, who received 9 at the recent prize-giving ceremony. On the other hand, Corbin got 6 first places to Davis's 4. Davia Chambers tells us more.
Quality was definitely the word of the day at the prize-giving ceremony. Roy Corbin took home first place, Sanan Best Doe, Best Ram Cuban Red, Best Ewe Persian Blackhead, and Best Pair of Turkeys. Meantime, Mr. Davis walked away with first in California White Rabbit Best Doe, Cross or Other Best Doe, Best Buck New Zealand White, and Best Pair of Chickens. In the area of agriculture, quality prevailed over quantity as well. Cheryl Jermut's hard work paid off. She was victorious in the categories of candies, jams and jellies, fruit and vegetable basket display, bread, cake and pastries, and commodity utilization, meat and fish. Merle Hercules had the best syrup with her breadfruit punch de creme, Vanessa Parks best herbs and spices, Selwyn Simon best fruit, Patrick Ekondoyo had the best sweet peppers, Carl Morrison was victorious in seasonings, ketchup and chutney, Christopher Norrie was awarded for his legumes and fruits. In the district competitions, Bethel and Roxborough were neck and neck, but in the category of the best depiction of the theme, Bethel's quality proved better than Roxborough, and they grabbed that award as well as best overall district booth. But Roxborough was not settling for second, and in the most entrepreneurial group, they walked away as winners. Secretary of the division, Gary Melville, noted how pleased he was to the response to World Food Day 2012.
Over the 2 days, we enjoyed mammoth crowds. And I want to congratulate all of those who were part of that event for their participation. I also want to congratulate the organizing committee of the World Food Day, headed by Ms. Marcia Carter, and other members of staff.
World Food Day 2012 was observed in Tobago on October 26, 2012, under the theme Agricultural Cooperatives, Key to Feeding the World. I'm Davia Chambers for the Department of Information.
She had long hours of study for 5 years, lived at various places in Trinidad, and helped revive a dead woman. This was the life of Avian Sandy, a scholarship recipient of the THA and now a medical doctor. After visiting Chief Secretary Orville London, she shared some of her experiences and future plans with Umadara Mills.
Studying medicine at the UWI St. Augustine campus was no easy pursuit, but THA scholarship recipient Avian Sandy always knew she wanted to be a doctor since the age of 8. She highlighted one of her challenges.
It wasn't the, I shouldn't say the difficulty of the work itself, but the, what should I say, the amount, if I should use the word copious amount of work that you'd have to put in on a consistent basis to be able to achieve what you want to at the end of the day, because the days would start very early, they would be long hours, short day, and then they would end very late at night.
Even in learning how to preserve life, she had to deal with the death. Dr. Sandy shared this experience.
It was an elderly woman that had come to more or less know as a patient in the ward, and it shocked me because for the first time, I was the first person to realize, oh, this lady wasn't breathing, and so they had to call in what they call a crash trolley and try to resuscitate her. And there I was as a student, and they said, come on, you have to help. And so I had to glove up and start, compressing the chest, and so, and luckily she started to breathe again. And at that moment, we were able to resuscitate her with the compressions and air that we were giving her, but unfortunately she didn't make it.
Receiving $15,000 per semester for 5 years, Dr. Sandy revealed what the majority of the funds went towards.
But a major part of the allowances that I was given went to accommodation, because whilst a lot of the your classes and so would be in Mount Hope, you would have to venture into places like San Fernando and in Port of Spain, where you'd have to be at some real crucial hours in the morning and night, and so you'd have to find and take up accommodation there.
Dr. Sandy stated her plans after completing her 1-year internship at the Port of Spain General Hospital.
It is my aim to do postgraduate work in the field of obstetrics and gynecology, and that's what I really have a passion for. And so I want to do that once I'm able to immediately post-internship, right? So those are my immediate academic aim. Once I'm able to complete that course of study, I'm longing to be back home in Tobago, So once I'm done that, I know the hospital will have room for me, so I'll be back here working.
I am Umadara Mills for the Department of Information.
Cannons, jail cells and graves are just some of the attractions found at Fort King George. From the lighthouse to the museum and even the Powder magazine, the Division of Tourism takes a look behind the history of Fort King George.
Warships, mortars, cannonballs, bomb blasts, and the smell of gunpowder mixed with blood tells the story of this site, a site where epic battles between European powers were won and lost over this paradise island. Welcome to Fort King George Heritage Park, Tobago, one of Tobago's main attractions and the winner of the 2011 Heritage Preservation Award for Best Historic Restoration Project. As part of the activities for Tourism Month, the Division of Tourism and Transportation organized the tours so that visitors can relive this moment in history. The fort was established in the early 1770s by the British as a military base. It is just a short uphill drive from Scarborough, and it offers a breathtaking and panoramic view of the island's capital. Taking a tour of Fort King George Heritage Park on any given day gives you an insight to this island's historic past. Just follow me as we explore these amazing grounds and discover the secrets of these interesting structures. The Artillerymen Barracks No. 2 was originally built of wood and shingles on a mortared stone foundation, a camp for artillery and infantrymen. Now, the building is reconstructed with ballast blocks. Infantrymen were foot soldiers who manned the powder magazine. The magazine dates from the French occupation of 1783 to 1793.
Let's take a closer look. The magazine was shell-proof and had storage for 600 barrels of gunpowder. There was originally an upper floor, and gunpowder was stored on both levels.
To the right is Barrack 26. It served as a military hospital for the troops that were stationed here.
We are at the punishment cells, commonly called the hangman cells.
These were built in 1848. If you look inside, based on the size, the cell appears to have been for one prisoner. This compound is where prisoners broke stones as part of their punishment. West of Barrack 26 is a mass grave site. This is where enlisted soldiers are buried. During the period when the fort was occupied by the French and the British, there were over 1,000 deaths. This included black and white troops, civilians, wives, and children. And they're all buried within the periphery of the garrison. We now come to the bell tank. Settled water from various catchments flowed into the tank, and it was extracted by bucket and line. This is the officers' mess. It was restored in 2006. It is now home to the Tobago Museum. This has an excellent display of early Tobago history. A snippet of one of Tobago's main attractions. There is so much more to discover.
And that's how we leave you on this week's edition of Let's Talk Tobago. On behalf of the Department of Information, I'm Colleen Holder, and we leave you now with some more scenes from the Gulf City Mall in Lowlands.